Hello, love and greetings to you. You have landed on our channel. This is the Marriage Foundation. We're very different than other channels that are there for marriage help because we don't do Western psychology. I used to be a divorce mediator. It's over 22 years ago. And when a couple asked me to help them save their marriage, surprisingly, because they thought, marriage is all about communication and sorting through things. And I dove deep into what marriage is all about. I asked my psychologist friends how I should do this, and I didn't like it. So what I did was I started from scratch. And I asked a question that I was surprised that I was asking, which is, why do people get married in the first place? Not, why did you marry the person you're married to? Yeah, obviously you fell in love. But why get married at all? And this is a sort of a businessman's question, which is ironic because marriage is not a business, but it's an important question because the answers are amazing in their simplicity and their importance. So I asked everybody, why get married at all? No one had a good answer. But the answer that really ended all discussion is you get married because you want to be happy. You want to be happier. And some people challenge that. They say, well, what if they just want to get a green card or something? Well, still, they want to be happy. It is what we are all about. As human beings, we are striving for happiness, aren't we? Nobody wants to suffer. And there's something else that we're striving for. And interestingly, it is the very essence of happiness, which is love. We crave love. So then you got to ask, okay, then if you get married to be happier and you crave love, isn't that like a perfect setup? Then you add to the mix, I'm taking you through my thought process because it's so important even for this topic. This topic is 3 ways how to deal with lack of trust in marriage. Very common question. It really is. There's a lot of people who have difficulty, both on the side of I'm not trusting of my spouse and on the side of I'm not trusted by my spouse. The answer is the same for both of you. So we get married to be happy, and I've taken it further. I go, we want to be happier today than we were yesterday, happier tomorrow than we are today, and have that formula every day of our married lives. Reminds you of a song, doesn't it? I love you more today than yesterday. And that's what we also want. More love today than yesterday. And we want it to continue. We are, and this is what I came to, and this is really interesting, and it's not religious, keep that in mind, but it's real. We're souls. We don't have a soul. You are a soul. I'm a soul. Everyone's a soul. What we have are minds and bodies, but we're souls. The essence of being a soul is joy, love, unconditional love, wisdom, consciousness. So if these are the things we want as a human being, and we all do, can't argue that, why get married? It's a setup. God set it up this way because he wants us to have those things. And in this particular world, I'm talking as if there's many worlds, I do believe there are. In this particular world, you don't find happiness very easily. You don't find love very easily. So God set it up where when you find your soulmate, soulmate, I said it. When you find your soulmate, now it's just 2 of you. But we're not taught any of this. So the 2 of you get to do everything you need to do to create love and happiness within your marriage. You have free will. you have volition, you have conscious awareness of what will make you happy and what will make you sad, what will make your spouse happy, what will make them sad. It's right there. You just have to connect the dots. So where does this trust stuff come in? It comes in from Western psychology, which is dealing with things like issues. But when you're married, everyone has issues. You could say, oh, he has an issue with anger, he has an issue with trust, he has an issue with shoes, he has an issue with this and that, and she has these issues. It's like, well, marriage isn't for perfect people, it's for us. So put the issues aside. Let's not call them trust issues, but let's deal with trust as it is. What is trust? Trust is a filter that the mind has. It's very subjective. The mind evaluates whether a person is trustworthy or not. Based on what? You're going to say their behavior. Not necessarily based on their behavior as your mind is interpreting their behavior. Interpreting, because you have free will, but your filters are habitual. They've been there for a while. So first you have that interpretation filter, then it goes into the mind and the mind calculates, okay, there's this, one of these gauges, okay, are they really trustworthy or really untrustworthy, right? And that's what the mind does. All the time it's doing that. It's effectively defining what is okay for you and what is not okay for you, or for your spouse. That's what's going on in their minds. So what do you do about this? And I needed to give you this context so that the answers will be useful for you to transcend the mind so that you can live your marriage the way it's intended to be lived. So, there's 3 ways. 1, make your default, rather than that filter, which is happening subconsciously without you telling it to, but change that. Make your default love without any conditions. In other words, they don't trust me. Doesn't matter, I love them. I don't trust them. Doesn't matter, I love them. You see, either way. It works either way. When your default is unconditional love, it transcends the peculiarities of our individual character. You see, love transcends things like anger, trust, this, that, and the other. So make your default, intentionally make your default love. Okay. Number 2, recognize that this trust thing is subjective. It has no basis in reality because some people can be trusted in some areas and not trusted in others. There's no one who's universally untrustworthy. Well, I take that back. There's some who are. But again, it's subjective because they're not always untrustworthy in certain areas. They chose to be trustworthy. Maybe they're in business and they have a rule that they will be totally trustworthy when they're dealing with a customer. Unusual, I know, but still, we don't know. So, recognize trust is purely subjective. Transcend it. Go back to number 1. Love is the default. Number 3, this is the best. And how do you do this? The Marriage Foundation is here to serve. We're a nonprofit. We have these videos that are free. We have articles that are free. You could sign up and get regular articles sent to you via email. Go to our website. And then we have other offerings that are very affordable. We have books. And then we have courses if your marriage is in trouble. We even teach people how to be good marriage counselors. Not that marriage counselors are bad as people. They're all good people usually because they want to serve others. But they don't know. They don't understand marriage. We have a lot of people who are marriage counselors now who have signed up to take our marriage counselor training course because they want to do it right. And when you really get into the teachings that I discovered, I don't like to say I invented them because they were there. But we don't learn them because no one has done this. We have just sort of relied on Western psychology, which if you think about it, it's kind of insane. But we did it, and now we don't have good education. You know where you got your education about marriage? Where do you think? You got it from movies, sitcoms, magazine articles, stuff like that. It's crazy, isn't it? And the proof of that is that we have over a 50% divorce rate in all the Western countries. So the Marriage Foundation has it all. Take advantage of us. You could even ask a counselor. It's a free service. So make your marriage a testament to its purposes. What are the purposes of marriage? Happiness, love, and harmony. Isn't that what you want? You have free will. Why can't you achieve it? Forget about this trust nonsense. And it is nonsense compared to unconditional love, unconditional joy, unconditional harmony, unconditional everything. The bond. And this is why God created marriage. I've decided that that's the case. Because in the world, you can't get these things. It's a primitive world we live in. So just the two of you in this, I call it the sacred space of marriage. In your sacred space of marriage, not where you're glum and like, oh, this is so sacred. No, where you're filled with joy. And that's what it's all about. So, like this video if you think it was beneficial. I think it was beneficial to you. Think about it. Think about the things that I've said. It always will make sense. I know. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. The counselors we have, they're on board. I mean, people who get this. And you should be one of those. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, visit again. God bless you. I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. I do hope to see you again. Thank you. God bless.